Good morning, everyone. I am going to talk about the excerpt from Magellan's first voyage around the world by Pigafetta. 500 years ago, Magellan began his historic journey to circumnavigate the world. Magellan was a Portuguese but sailed on behalf of Spain. He was a formidable captain, but his crew hated him. His expedition was the first to sail around the world, but he didn't end up circling the globe himself. Nonetheless, it is clear that Ferdinand Magellan's 1599 expedition changed the world forever. His journey was the greatest sea voyage ever undertaken and most significant, says historian Lawrence Bergin. For the Activity 1, the sequence of events dated and most significant events that happened during the day of Magellan's travel around the Philippine archipelago. On March 18, 1521, they saw that a boat was coming toward them with 9 men in it. And on March 22, 1521, the return of those men who promised to visit the Captain General with them of 2 boats and classes of presents, including foods. And on March 25, 1521, the day of their day, Magellan went out to the side of the ship to fish. And on March 28, 1521, they arrived in the island of Butuan and Calagan. While on March 29, 1521, the slave was sent by Magellan to the king to ask for some food. And on March 31, 1521, Magellan sends the priest together with the interpreter to inform the king regarding the Mass and baptism. And on April 7, 1521, they reached and entered the port of Cebu. While on March 28, 1521, Magellan asked his notary and the interpreter to go to the king to make an arrangement and establish their relationship. And on April 9, 1521, the king of Mazawa went to Magellan's ship with his Moro people. On April 12, 1521, one of Magellan's men died and he asked the king for the place where he can bury him. On April 12, 1521, they presented to the people a shop full of merchandise. And on April 14, 1521, a party of Magellan's men went to shore and 2 of them were completely armed and presented the royal banner. April 26, 1521, the chief Zula sends one of his sons to present his gift to Magellan and inform him that he was not able to send all that he promised because of chief Lapu-Lapu. While on May 1, 1521, after the death of Captain General, the Christian king sends everything he promised to the King of Spain. For the activity 2, with question number 1, Magellan usurped unilaterally all property rights, including sovereign rights, from the natives as his emissary negotiated with the local chief in Cebu. Cite the statements from the document that supports your answer. In some ways, because the natives were expected to obey their chief, they were obligated to do so, and the natives have little to do with Magellan's agreement with the representatives of various islands and other than to follow and comply as if Magellan hadn't already informed them that he was a good friend but a worse enemy. Furthermore, I assume that he tries to deceive them by the natives by showing off them and giving them gifts. From the statement from the document that will support our answer, the captain showed him clothes of various colors, linen, coral ornaments, and many other articles of merchandise, and all the artillery, some of which he had discharged for him. Whereat the natives were greatly frightened. Then the captain general had a man armed as a soldier, and placed him in the midst of 3 men armed with swords and daggers, who struck him in all parts of the body. Thereby was the king rendered almost speechless. Question number 2. What was Pigafetta's purpose for writing the document? Pigafetta wishes to educate the readers and elevate Magellan to the status of a strong and responsible king. As he fought against the people of Lapu-Lapu, he did everything he could to protect and save his ship and his crew. The article aimed to convince readers that Magellan's goal was to help Filipinos by informing and accepting them through Spain. For the question number 3, what was the context of the time that turned Pigafetta to look at the people, the environment, and the culture from his perspective? With his excitement and wonder for those varied individuals who pursue different lifestyles and beliefs, he engaged himself and studied their activities as they set off for various islands in the Philippines. For question number 4, which G among three G's, gold, God, glory, must have primarily driven the Europeans in venturing the high seas and towards the Philippines? Why? Quote the storyline, paragraph, or phrase from the text that tells you this. The fundamental motivation of Europeans to travel in the Philippines is to spread their beliefs. While we can see that it's mostly about the trade system, if we look closer and analyze the document's concept, we may discover and learn that it's about religious aspects. The merchant and their wares are a piece of fabric that conceals a true aim and intents. The remark of Magellan when he spoke with the indigenous will attest to this. Following his interaction with the locals, he goes on to discuss religions and other topics. For the question number 5, cite from the text by stating by your own words an instance that depicts Spanish dominance or superiority complex. Support your argument by quoting the paragraph which tells you such dominance or manifestation of superiority. When Magellan ordered that the idols be destroyed and that no fish be offered, they should believe in Christ and be baptized if they want the sick person to be cured. A statement from the document states that one day the Captain General asked the king and the other people why they did not burn their idols as they had promised when they had become Christians, and why they sacrificed so much fish to them. The captain told to bury their idols and believe in Christ, as if the sick man were baptized, he would quickly recover. And if they did not do so happen, they could behead him then and there, according to the captain. That would be all. Thank you for listening.